Hello, Professor Maple here, bringing you hopefully interesting, semi-relevant discussion on a wide, semi-wide array of topics. So today, the game we're going to be talking about is Portal 2. It's one of my all-time favorite games just in general. Best plot, best really everything. It's just one of the best games. Well, barring Pokemon, obviously. So yeah, we're not talking about Pokemon today. Most every day we're going to be talking about Pokemon, so if you don't like any of the non-Pokemon stuff, just, probably wait 2 or 3 more days, maybe 3 or 4. Really, I just make a video whenever I see something interesting that sparks my interest and, feel like I need to make a video about it. So, probably going to be another Pokemon one in time. So, back to Portal 2. Again, it's one of my favorite games. It's such an interesting game. Also, this video will contain spoilers for it, so anyone not wishing to be spoiled, I would advise not, listening to this video. So, okay, so today we're going to be talking about a very interesting aspect of Portal. Doug Ratman. Now, almost anyone who's played Portal 1 or Portal 2 has at least seen something done by Ratman. He's the one who goes around on all the walls, scribbling schizophrenic messages and drawing pictures. Some of his work you can see, that's nice, right there, here, and over here. And there's countless other instances of Ratman's drawings throughout the game. So, at first glance of, his drawings in order, we can learn a few things about him. A, he's obsessed with the companion cube. 2, he's been watching Chell. I mean, kind of creepy, a schizophrenic scientist running around watching you, drawing pictures on the walls. And he's planning something and making calculations. The what exactly he's planning and what exact calculations he's making are to be, determined. But another thing that I found kind of interesting and just realized something on is his obsession with the moon and its phases. Look, see, here in the chamber where you get your portal gun, you notice he's placed the portal gun directly there on that pedestal underneath the stargazing chamber. But so on the ceiling, if you look up, you can see a hole to what appears to be the outside and the moon. Not just the moon, but the faces of the moon with numbers scrawled around them, almost like he's been calculating something with the faces of the moon, timing them, figuring out when they will occur. So next, I would like to show you one of his drawings. This one can be found later in the game, I'm pretty sure. I've played Portal 2 a ton, but, I have all of the locations of Ratman memorized. But so, at first sight it looks like some, random poetry, picture of Chell, weird bar graph with turrets. But up in the left-hand corner of the actual drawing, you can see again the phases of the moon. Not just the moon, but the phases. I'll get back to this picture later, because I think it, very much goes to illustrate my point. Okay, so here we go. Another instance of the moon, and another thing that I'm going to be talking about cropping up. So here is the room that you start Portal 2 in. It's a, relaxation vault with a painting, a painted wall, microwave, bed, television. But look at the painting really quick. Just examine it. Heck, it even, tells you to examine it in the actual tutorial to start the game. And then here's the room in nighttime, after the thing has exploded. 2 things to note. A lot of time has passed, and then the picture again. What's in the picture's now nighttime, and what's in the sky? A big, full moon. Coincidence? More moon imagery? Coincidence? I think not. Moon imagery is popping up all over the game. I'd like to revisit the same room from another angle. The painting on the wall. I actually noticed this Easter egg, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. So if you look at the corner next to the refrigerator, down in the very bottom, you'll see what appears to be a man sitting on a beach in the picture. Though, here's the same thing in the nighttime scene. It's hard to see, but that looks like a wolf howling up at the sky to me. Doesn't it to you? Now, I think this is one of the most interesting and revealing parts of it. Now we have both moon imagery and a wolf in the nighttime, exactly where the man was. When I first saw this, I thought the man had disappeared, but then, when I looked closer, it's a wolf. I would have brightened up the image, but I didn't get a chance to. Though I have brightened it, it is definitely a wolf right there. So, what does this mean? A little Easter egg thrown in by the developers? Or the secret to something in the game? I'd like to revisit again this image. So, what the bar graph appears to be denoting is something from the Lab Rat comic book. So the reason Chell was placed on the top by Ratman as in the testing list was under the determination, never gives up. Hey, that actually sounds a bit like Undertale. But, so due to Chell never giving up, that's why she was picked. But what if there was another reason? What if there are more figures? I'd like to show you the phases of the moon and how it's plotted. It looks a lot like the side of the bar graph, with the full moon being exactly at the top where Chell is. And then, I'd like to show you the room that the portal gun was in. Ratman moved the portal gun from where it was and put it directly under what appears to be an open surface, while even dictating the phases of the moon. Which makes me think Ratman wanted Chell to be under some particular phase of the moon when she got the portal gun. But why? Well, why is Chell and the moon and Ratman so importantly connected together? What if I told you Chell is a werewolf, or at least something close? Or either that or Ratman is. I'm not sure. See, here's the thing. Is Ratman a werewolf, or is Chell a werewolf? If Chell is a werewolf, that brings in an entirely new thing into the game as to who her parents are, who bit her, and how she became a werewolf. Though, what if they're both werewolves? Or at least something like them? Something that doesn't shift completely into werewolf form, but close. That's why, when Chell's exposed to the moon, she's literally stronger, faster, and a better jumper, and more determined. 'Cause, a wolf wouldn't have all the human hesitation and fear. Yes, I know you can look at your player model through portals, but I mean, that's just a placeholder for all the time. It never shifts. You'd think Chell's, hair would have grown sometime, but it doesn't. She's either obviously being maintained, or there's just one static player model for Chell. So that brings us back to the question, is Chell and or Ratman a werewolf? So, Ratman being a werewolf, or at least thinking he is actually pretty plausible. We never see him except in the Lab Rat comic, and even there it's in a distorted, drawn by him sort of way, so that's pretty hard to gauge. Whether there are werewolves or not in the Portal continuity is also debatable, but I would like to tell you about something that Cave Johnson said while you're in the Aperture Science Innovators. He said that they've made mantis men. If they've been injecting people with praying mantis DNA, then why not wolf or dog DNA? What if Ratman himself is an experiment, and that's what's fueling his schizophrenia? What if Ratman is a werewolf? He isn't actually schizophrenic. The schizophrenic periods are simply attributed to him having a less than human brain, and the pills he's taking are not actually antipsychotics. They're something that inhibits him acting like a werewolf. And the companion cube, that's hard to explain, because perhaps, what if somehow being injected with the werewolf DNA gave him a mental condition similar to schizophrenia, which is why when he takes the pills, he's not only suppressing the werewolf aspect, he's also suppressing the schizophrenia along with it, due to it being linked to the brain chemistry issues of, injecting yourself with animal DNA. So that brings us to the question, is Chell a werewolf? In the first game, no. In the second game, yes. Wheatley also, you notice, says Chell has most likely due to cryosleep undergone a very minor case of serious brain damage. But what if, Wheatley being stupid thinks it's due to the cryosleep, but it's actually attributed to Ratman while she was in cryosleep injecting her with the DNA, thus increasing her determination when under the light of the moon, and increasing her physical abilities. And during most of the game in Portal 2, after being exposed to the hyper-concentrated and obviously optimized perfectly setting that Ratman placed the portal gun in, is actually in some sort of half-wolf form during the entire game of Portal 2. Because, in a lot of those early test chambers, it looks like the ceiling is just sort of, fallen in, exposing the outside air. But it's completely white, you notice. And also, Aperture obviously has access to moon dust. That's what it's baked into the very walls of Aperture. Everything portable is moon dust. That's what's portable. You can only put portals on things that have some connection to the moon. Meaning that everywhere Chell walks, she's constantly being exposed to a radiation that would turn her into at least partly a werewolf. Meaning that during the Portal 2, Chell is a werewolf. So, tell me what you think about this theory. I'm not quite sure on it, so tell me what you think of this theory. Does it sound, logical, reasonable? I don't think it's probably, actually what's true. Valve's obviously intended something very different, and it conflicts with other Portal theories, but I thought it was an interesting little thing, wait, what's with the moon? So, he's actually staying put today. So, Professor Maple signing out. Bye.